The Stars and the Dogs by Yumi MacDonald. The Akita dog Subaru lives in a small town in the far west of Tokyo. Although part of Tokyo Prefecture, it's a rural area and surrounded by beautiful mountains. Subaru's mother Sachiko is a single mother. Sachiko has two children, a son, Masaki, and a daughter, Misa. Sachiko divorced several years ago and helps her parents' small sake brewery. They live in a traditional Japanese house. Subaru spends a lot of time in the garden, but he is allowed to go inside the house. He loves his life here. Before coming to this house, Subaru was a stray dog. He was rescued by an Akita dog rescue group that Sachiko belongs to. Subaru is a wonderful companion as well as an excellent guard dog. Masaki and Misa take Subaru for a long walk every day. They like to explore unknown places and find waterfalls, ponds, and old temples. Subaru knows the way home, so they don't have to worry about getting lost. One day at the dinner table, Sachiko told the family that she was asked to adopt a female Akita puppy that was rescued on the street of Fukuoka, the largest city in Kyushu, the southwestern island of Japan. She showed them a picture of the dog. "A white Akita, just like Subaru. We can have one more. Subaru will enjoy having a friend," said Misa. Everyone agreed. Several days later, a 3-month-old puppy came to their house, carried by Mr. Suzuki from the Akita Dog Rescue Group. "We named her Fujiko. She is as white as Mount Fuji," he said. Fujiko and Subaru were cautious in the beginning, but it seemed they clicked together. Soon Subaru and Fujiko got closer. Fujiko was quiet at first, but it turned out she was a tomboy. They ran around, paw-boxed, and went on long walks together. Sometimes they howled in unison at night. On a gorgeous spring day, Misa took Subaru and Fujiko for a long walk. They walked along fields of Chinese milk-vetch flowers and canola flowers. The contrast of yellow and pink against the blue sky was striking. There was nobody as far as they could see. Misa had no idea how far they had gone. Suddenly she noticed a perfectly symmetrical hill standing tall in the middle of the field. She could see a bright-colored building on top of it. Painted in red, green, black, blue, yellow, and decorated with hundreds of carvings, it looked like a shining palace from a fantasy. There were steep steps toward the mysterious palace. Abruptly, Fujiko dashed to the steps and ran towards the top of the hill. Subaru followed her. "Hey, wait!" Misa followed them as fast as she could. They walked up the steps and stood in front of the palace. "Wow, what is this? Is this a dragon's palace?" Misa said to herself. There were doors in the center of the structure, which were closed. It looked like a Korean temple. There was a sign which read Shichiseiden, which means 7 Stars Hall. "Oh, I love that name. Is this related to astrology?" Misa wondered. It was a surprise to find ancient Korean architecture in the middle of rural Tokyo. She noticed Fujiko was sniffing around and trying to go inside. "Fujiko, the doors are closed and we are not allowed to go in," said Misa. The view from the hill was incredible. She could see blue mountains on one side and the tall buildings of central Tokyo on the other. After having looked around the temple and resting for a little bit, they went down the hill and headed home. Misa told her family about the beautiful Korean temple. Grandfather Nobuo said, "That must be a temple of the Myokim religion, which worships the stars. I heard there were many people from Paekje, a kingdom located in southwestern Korea, during 18 BC to 660 AD, living in that area since the 7th century. Oh wow! I knew many people from Pekje came to the Kansai region, the southern central region of Japan's main island, where Japan's ancient capitals were, and introduced Buddhism and high culture. But I had no idea they came as far as this part of Tokyo, said Misa. Ancient people walked unimaginable long distances. These people from Pekje built the 7 Stars temples to worship Polaris and the Big Dipper, which were the objects of worship of the Myoken religion, explained Nobuo. The temple was beautiful. It looks like they reconstructed it recently. The view from the hill was amazing, said Misa. It must be. I suppose it's a great place for stargazing, said Nobuo. Ever since Fujiko came back from the long walk to the 7 Stars temple, she had changed. She still played with Subaru during the day, but after the sun had set, she would look up at the sky all alone every night. Her only company was her stuffed rabbit toy. Everyone wondered what was wrong with Fujiko. She's like Princess Kaguya. Maybe Fujiko is from space and is missing her home, joked Misa. If so, a UFO will come down to our yard to get her. That's cool, said Masaki. I think she misses her home. Maybe she feels lonely after sunset, said Sachiko, who then hugged Fujiko tight. Several days had passed. Misa was cooking ramen in the kitchen while leaving a K-pop concert on the TV in the living room. She noticed Fujiko was sitting in front of the TV and watching it seriously. She was alert and occasionally put her head to one side inquisitively. Fujiko, do you understand Korean? Annyeong, annyeonghaseyo. When Misa said hello in Korean, Fujiko looked at her with a lovely smile. Oh, Fujiko, let's see. How about anja? Sit in Korean. Instantly, Fujiko sat and held her head high proudly. So you understand Korean. That's why you were watching the performance, said Misa. Sachiko smiled and said, Maybe we can post messages in Korean to find out who her former owner is. Right. If we know the former owner lives in Japan, but speaks Korean at home, it might make it a little easier to find him or her, said Misa. Wait a moment, said Sayoko, the grandmother, and continued. Fujiko changed after she visited the 7 Stars temple. Didn't you say that she was sniffing all around the building? Don't you think she might have remembered her home in Korea? Maybe she's not from Japan at all. That's possible. Fujiko was found on the street in Fukuoka. There's a possibility that she came to Fukuoka by ferry from Korea and got lost at the port, said Nobuo. Busan to Fukuoka by ferry is only 3 hours. Maybe she came with her owner but somehow got lost on arrival, said Masaki. I think that's probably the case. I was surprised how fast she ran to the 7 Stars Palace. Maybe she thought she was back in Korea, said Misa. The whole family sat together and discussed where Fujiko might have come from. Then, Sachiko mentioned that if she was from Korea, she could be a Korean breed, not an Akita. She could be a Chindo dog, exclaimed Misa. I think so too. Akita and Chindo are both big dogs with standing ears, curled tails, and double-coated fur. There are some differences, but overall they look very similar, said Sachiko. Fujiko, are you Chindoke? Asked Misa, using the Korean word for Chindo dog. Fujiko reacted. She understood the word Chindoke. After the discussion, they decided to post a picture of Fujiko with a message that they found her in Fukuoka. They looked for the owner on Twitter, Kakao Talk, and Facebook in both Korean and Japanese. Surprisingly quickly, they received a message from the possible owner, a Korean boy named Soohyun. "I'm Soohyun in Busan. She looks like my dog Pure. Could you call her Pure?" he wrote. Misa called, "Pure, Pure." Sure enough, Fujiko barked with her tail wagging. "Soohyun, she is Pure. She instantly reacted when I called her Pure," Misa wrote back. "Wow, that's amazing. Can we Skype so that she can see me on a big screen?" asked Soohyun. They agreed to Skype in 15 minutes. He said he speaks Japanese, and Misa said she can speak a little bit of Korean. When Soohyun's face popped up on the screen, Fujiko was emotional. She was holding her stuffed rabbit tight and staring at Soohyun. Everyone nearly cried. They found out Soohyun and Fujiko went to the Busan ferry port to see his friend off. While Soohyun and his friend were talking, Fujiko somehow slipped out from her leash and disappeared. He searched everywhere around the port, reported her missing to the police, asked dog rescue organizations, hung up lost dog signs, and posted notices on social media. However, he had never imagined that Fujiko had taken the ferry to Fukuoka. "Soohyun, we will call her Pure from now on. What does the word Pure mean?" asked Misa. "Hoshi," star in Japanese, said Soohyun. "Oh, star. Now I understand. I guess Pure understands that Pure is her name, as well as the word for star," said Misa. "I see. That explains her behavior. After seeing the Seven Stars Temple, she probably remembered her Korean name is Pure. She remembered her name means star as well," said Masaki. "Could be. Dogs are much smarter than people think. Pure, great job for letting us know that you are from Korea," laughed Sayoko. They talked about how to bring Fujiko, whom they now started calling Pure, back to Busan. It was decided that Misa and Sachiko would take Pure to Busan, while Masaki and the grandparents looked after Subaru. "I'll make the travel plans," said Misa. "Misa, I want to go to Chindo Island too. That is where the Chindo dog originated," said Sachiko. "Is that the place where the sea parting happens? Where once a year, at low tide, you can walk from the mainland to the island?" asked Sayoko. "Yes, I think it occurs sometime in April. Maybe we can plan to go there on that timing," answered Misa.
When the rain is blowing in your face and the whole world is on your case, I could offer you a warm embrace to make you feel my love. When the evening shadows and the stars appear, and there is no one there to dry your tears, I could hold you for 1,000,000 years to make you feel my love. I know you haven't made your mind up yet, but I will never do you wrong. I've known it from the moment that we've met, and no doubt in my mind where you belong. I'd go hungry, I'd go black and blue, and I'd go crawling down the avenue. No, there's nothing that I wouldn't do to make you feel my love.